Jackson.
I'm the oldest Jackson.
And Tito Jackson.
The swingin'est Jackson.
And Marlon Jackson.
The dancingest Jackson.
And Michael Jackson.
The skinniest Jackson.
And Randy Jackson.
The cutest Jackson. Let on me, mama.
Bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube, and for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about LaToya Jackson. Bye. LaToya Jackson. Joseph came home one day visibly shaken. We rarely, if ever, saw him unnerved. Gathering the family together, he related an incredible story. A well-known and powerful music industry figure approached my father and told him of his concerns, that a Jackson Marion would result in the group's ruination. You cannot let this happen, he said. We cannot let it happen. Then he added, I can stop this, you know. How? What do you mean you can stop this? How? If he loves this girl and they get married, that's their business, not yours. Now. Pause. That right there seems a little shaky to me, because I'm like, wait a minute, Joe, weren't you the same ninja in the movie that was like, no, don't do this. You're going to mess everything up. You're going to mess up the church's money or the Kingdom Hall's money. You can't do this. What about all the fans? What about all the girls dreaming of one day laying down with a Jackson? So I don't know if this is true. Not that I think LaToya is lying. I think that Joseph is just using this particular story as a tool of manipulation. Do you want it stopped? Well, Joseph admitted, I'd rather he didn't get involved, but do you want it stopped? What exactly are you saying? She can ... disappear. In disbelief, my father asked, how can she disappear? She can fall or drive off a cliff, the man replied coolly. People won't know anything about it. They'll find her and everyone will just assume she lost control and drove off the road. We could make it happen right off of Mulholland Drive. That would be easy. Even Joseph was appalled. No, you can't do something like that. Don't ever think about it. Okay, it's up to you, the other man said, holding his palms apart, just trying to help. Would a person actually murder someone for money? Hell yeah! They called him Hitman, girl. What's the dude name? From DC? Damn, I forget his name. They call him Teflon Sean. Ooh, I remember him when he was a little boy. Ooh, that motherfucker was a killer then. He got recently out of jail. I think he got a book. Things like that be scary to me. Like when I used to go around Montana Avenue hanging out with my girlfriend and that nigga used to look at me too hard, I'd be like, Candace, I'm ready to go. Okay, because I don't want to reject this nigga. My body end up missing or something. Okay, it's up to you, the other man said, holding his palms apart, just trying to help. Would a person actually murder someone for money? In the entertainment business, sorry to say, the answer is yes. Girl, that stuff was nothing back in the 80s. While my older brothers were dating the opposite sex was the last thing on my mind. For one thing, Michael and I were very active in the Jehovah's Witness faith. By this time, most of our siblings had basically given it up. 5 days a week, the two of us and mother studied the Bible at home and attended the Kingdom Hall. Randy always wanted to go to the meetings with us, but could never seem to get dressed in time. Every morning, Michael and I witnessed knocking on doors around Los Angeles, spreading the word of Jehovah. As my brother's fame grew, he had to don convincing disguises like a rubber fat suit he bought years later around the time of Thriller. Adults were easily fooled by Michael Incognito, but it was a rare child who didn't see through his costumes in seconds. We became close with another witness, Darlis was my first and only friend outside of the family, and I treasured the time we spent together. One of the few girls in our school not in awe of Michael. She treated him as just another kid, which he really appreciated. Each day at lunch, the three of us studied the Bible together. She also joined us at the Kingdom Hall. During a meeting, Darlis bravely challenged one of the elders. "Why is it that I will be saved?" she asked innocently. "But my parents won't be." "They may not be witnesses, but they're perfectly nice people." The elder's reply was typical. He cited the scripture which supported his position but did not really address Darla's point. One day, Reeby's husband, Nathaniel, also an elder, I knew that she married an old man. I knew that because that's what them ladies used to do back in the day. They be young girls or, 18 barely, and then they find an old ass man to save them from the depths of hell that is their family. One day, Reeby's husband, Nathaniel, also an elder, cornered me. "Latoya," he said, "you're never allowed to speak to Darlis ever." "But why?" "She's been disfellowshipped, cast out of the faith to be shunned from then on. She's my best friend." The elders are obligated to reprimand members who dress or behave immodestly. As an entertainer and idol of millions, Michael was always being reproached for such things as the length of his hair and for wearing wide flared bell bottoms. "My brother loves vivid colors, particularly red," prompting one elder to criticize. "The colors you wear are too bright, and you're attracting attention to yourself." Prohibited from seeing Darlis, I grew closer to my mother. She became my new best friend. It was the kind of relationship most mothers dream of. Mother was devoted to all her children, but always made me feel very special. She confided in me and never let me forget how much alike we were. As I grew older, Joseph would often remark, "Kate, doesn't Latoya look just like you did when we first met? Look at that tiny waist, just like yours used to be." Mother would smile. Whatever I wore or whatever I did, Mother seemed so happy and proud. And that made me happy. Mother never seemed concerned that I didn't date. In fact, it pleased her because it meant I wouldn't leave home like Reeby and Tito had. Jermaine was seriously dating Barry Gordy's daughter, Hazel. Marlon was carrying on a pen pal relationship with Carol Ann Parker, a girl from New Orleans he'd met when he was 11 or 12, and all women seemed to be in love with Jackie. Ooh, that damn Jackie. So it was only a matter of time before they would leave too. Our parents wouldn't acknowledge that we were growing from children into young men and women. The facts of life were a taboo subject. Out of shyness, my mother never talked to me about personal matters, making the normal physical changes of adolescence traumatic for me as a preteen. So let me tell you what happened. When I, got my lady thing. Oh, my mother never showed mercy on me, y'all. That's why I'm like, I was raised so freaking tough. Oh my God, I was raised tough. So my mother never really even talked to me about my period. Because like I said, I didn't really know the bitch. She just was, she was just barely here and there. I had a very young mother. She had me at 15 years old. And, I'm 13, 15. Okay, my mom's 28. She's still partying. She's still doing her thing. So basically, it's me taking care of my little sister, right? So anyway, child, one day I will never forget this. We was living over on the south side temporarily. Me and my sister was on a bus. We traveling from the south side around there to Holy Redeemer. I think I was if I was 13, I was probably in like the 7th or 8th grade, something like that. When I tell you I was on that bus traveling from the south side to Northwest Bay, felt like my entire guts was coming out. You hear me? My mama ain't tell me that this was gonna happen to me. When I got in the house that night, she said, "Welcome to your womanhood." She ain't even break down, you can get pregnant, none of that. She ain't break none of that down. She ain't had no pads, so she said, here goes tampon, stick that up in there. Huh? You want me to stick something up in my pussy, mama? I can't do that. Adolescence proved awkward for Michael, too. He sprouted from just over 5 feet to 5 feet 10 overnight, it seemed. He went from a cute little boy to a gangly teenager. Certain body parts outgrew others, and now Michael was the object of merciless ribbing, especially from his father. Look at that big nose on your face. Joseph used to taunt, I don't know where you got that from, big nose. Given the opportunity for revenge at last, my brothers chipped in with their own insults, but none was so mean-spirited and cutting as Joseph's. Michael was terribly upset, always better at dishing out teasing than taking it. Ain't Michael a Virgo? Then he developed a severe case of acne. Of course, most afflicted teenagers feel self-conscious, so just imagining being a star whose face adorns magazines covers, t-shirts, and lunch pails. Ooh, I had me one, y'all. Y'all, right quick, tell me what lunchbox did you have that you can remember? I remember having a Jackson 5 lunchbox, a Scooby-Doo lunchbox, and a Raggedy Ann and Andy lunchbox. What lunchboxes do you remember having? My brother was devastated. Suzanne DePass and her cousin Tony Jones, also a Motown staffer, took him from one high-priced dermatologist to another. But every new treatment only exacerbated the problem. For the next 2.5 years, Michael endured countless ineffective regimens. His personality changed. Before he'd been outgoing and comfortable with strangers, now he withdrew himself. Michael changed his diet drastically, eating only pure natural foods. Although he finally outgrew the skin condition by his 16th birthday, he never recovered from its effects. Once the most sociable and effervescent of my brothers, he was now painfully shy, something I think he'll ever overcome. In 1972, Michael invaded the top 20 7 times, 4 as a member of the Jackson 5. Sugar Daddy, Little Bitty Pretty One, Looking Through the Windows and Corner of the Sky, and 3 as a soloist. His spirited remake of Bobby Day's 1958 smash, Rockin' Robin, I Want to Be Where You Are, and the heartfelt ballad, Ben, which went to number 1. A lot of people thought Ben an ode to a rat, bizarre, but not Michael. To him, no creature is repulsive. Bullshit debate. That, just like in the movie, Michael had a pet mouse. She said pet mouse. I think in the movie American Dream, it was a pet rat, but LaToya said that it was a pet mouse. Either way, that shit disgusting. That same year, Motown launched Jermaine's solo career with a moderate hit. That's How Love Goes, followed by his top 10 cover of Shep and the Limelight's Tender Daddy's Home. But after that, the brothers' record sales, both individually and as a group, started slipping.